The 1984 Chafes Irving Cardinals baseball team were the Maritime Midget A baseball champions. The team finished in first place in the regular season in the Nova Scotia Midget A Baseball League and then went on to defeat Dartmouth to claim the Maritime Midget A Baseball Championship. 33 years has passed since we used to see this group of guys walking to the ball field from all areas of Port Hawkesbury, Point Tupper, with a ball glove and cleats in hand, or a car pulling up to the ball field to drop off players from Sugar Camp and the McIntyre Mountain Road. An interesting fact about this team is that all who tried out made the team. At the Dartmouth Natal Day tournament in 1984, this team defeated a pretty good pair of left-handed pitchers, Vince Horseman of Dartmouth and Real Cormier of Moncton. Horseman went on to pitch in the major leagues for 5 years and is the pitching coach for the Toronto Blue Jays farm system today. Real Cormier went on to play 15 years in the major leagues. Let's just take a look at the record of the championship game. It's reported in the local press. Port Hawkesbury came into the final games sporting a 2-1 one-loss record, ahead of Dartmouth and PEI, who had 2-2 records. To win the tourney, the Cards had to either win the game against Dartmouth or score more runs than their opponents. As a result, the champions all but wrapped up first place when Barry McNeil crossed home plate in the 5th inning to score the Cards' 5th run, surpassing PEI's run total. At that point in the game, Dartmouth had to come back and win by 12 runs. Instead, Port Hawkesbury added 9 more runs in the inning to coast to a 14-6 victory. McIntyre hit a grand slam home run in an 11-run inning to lead the Cardinal attack. Carl McMullen struck out 5 and walked forward to pick up the win. Many of the players on this team, as Terry said, continued careers in baseball. I had the pleasure of coaching Collie Hayes one time, who went on to hit one of the longest home runs with a softball that they ever saw in New Glasgow. Still talking about that. And I've watched many of these players, like, I'll name a few. Pat McIntyre, who taught me one wise saying. Remember that one, Pat? There goes a pair that could beat 3 of a kind. I don't know how it was done, but anyway. And I know that I've watched some of these guys play ball in the intermediate and later minor systems. And these guys made a tremendous contribution in their own communities, whether it was here in the United States or somewhere else in Canada. And we're very pleased to introduce them to induct them to the Port Hawkesbury Wall of Fame for their contributions to sport in Port Hawkesbury. First, I'm going down the list as the list has the names recorded. And Hugh McDougall, my favorite left-handed third baseman, is the first person. Angus McDougall. David Isaac sends regrets as family emergency came up. Dan Willie McDonald is represented by Jerry Burke. Pat McIntyre, I'm now on the player list. Pat McIntyre, Robert Ryan, Robbie Wire, Collie Hayes, Darren McDonald, who unfortunately had an illness, sudden illness enough today, and is not here. Barry McNeil, Lennon McDonald, who was represented by his father, a fellow Hall of Famer, and incidentally a coach of the 1954 Midget A Maritime champion. Wade McNeil, who is represented by his mom, Betty Lou. Dean Martin. Carl McMullen, who was represented by his wife, Lorianne. And Kenny McIntyre. And Kevin McRae is represented by his dad, John McRae. Julie, do you think I have everybody there?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate Jason and Billy Joe and Jerry for their contributions, not only to personally, but what they did for the town over the years. I mean, I remember watching Jerry play hockey, and it was so much fun to go to the old rink and watch you guys, you and Pat and all the boys. I'd also like to thank Mr. Davis, who, without his leadership, this whole thing would not happen. I'll tell you that. And all the other committee members also, Roy Dodson, Terry McDonald, and Roy Sterney, and Paula Davis. Their work also. First of all, I have Angus, in 1984, my brother Angus was the manager of the team, and he did all the fundraising and organizing and all this stuff. And we said we were going to be inducted. We had a hard time even finding a picture. But Angus had all this stuff in his attic, all these pictures over here that if you want to go look at later. Lenny is in one and Gordy is in. We had a banquet in 1984, and that 1954 team presented trophies to these guys. And the pictures are there. It was amazing. Friday night at the Pirate game, I happened to coach this year's provincial championship team. My son was on it, the Midget A team, and the mayor was there. We passed out certificates, and the 1984 team were presented then. So it was kind of a nice thing. So I hope that everybody gets to look at the pictures there. And the guy, for the guys, Angus had all the uniforms in the attic, and we washed them, and they're all there. Carly, I'm not sure if it'll fit you, but some of you get your pictures taken with them over, they're over there also. But anyway, I have a letter here I'd like to read. It's from Angus McDougall, and it's October 23rd, 1984. It's addressed to the Honorable William Joe McLean, Minister of Culture, Recreation, and Fitness. Dear Honorable McLean, the summer of 1984 will long be remembered as one of a huge success for the Chafe Irving Cardinals Midget A baseball club. Not only was it the inaugural year for the team and the league, it was also the year the Cardinals captured both Nova Scotia and Atlantic Midget A baseball titles. The club's success was reached through hard work, determination, and self-sacrifice by all team members. However, the expense of running a championship baseball team are many. Any assistance which you or your department can provide to help defray some of the costs would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you at our banquet on Friday, November 2nd, 1984. And Mr. McLean, minister at the time, did go to our banquet, and there's a picture over there also. But you know what I have? Right here I have the answer. In the envelope, the M is here, and it's the Department of Recreation, Culture, and Fitness, the Office of the Minister. It's addressed to Chafes Midget A baseball team in care of Angus McDougall. I am pleased to enclose a check in the amount of $500, which represents a grant provided by the Department of Culture, Recreation, and Fitness to assist your team with the cost incurred in travel needs for the provincial and maritime championships. I would also like to take this opportunity to commend you and your team members for your initiative and hard work while preparing for a very, very season. Best of luck. Billy Joe McLean, Minister of Culture, Recreation, and Fitness. But I got a call the other night from a player, and it kind of hit me what this was more about. The young fellow, it was Frankie McIntyre. And Frankie is busy, he's one of the vice presidents of McCain or something, and they're all busy, but he said, Huey, I can't make it, he said, last year I coached Fredericton hockey team. And he said, they asked me to coach this year. He said, I didn't want to coach, he said, but he said, I thought of yourself and Dan Willie McDonald, he said, and all the work that you guys did for baseball and that over the years, and I said I would coach them. And he is very sorry that he didn't make it. So I started thinking, well, that's pretty amazing, you know, to hit a player like that, and to have an influence on a young person. So I looked down the list, and I'm trying to look Frankie. These are guys that not only are good to their community, they all coach the team somewhere or other. Frankie and Carly and Wade and Pat and Robbie and Robert and Darren and Dean, all these players coach kids somewhere along the line. So hopefully the little but Dan, Willie, and I did over the years kind of ran with them. And so I cannot say enough about Dan Willie McDonald. He's, this team wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. He took these young fellas, I'd be at work, he'd have them at the ball field at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Every day, it was amazing. And there was something on Facebook, which the mayor put, and she said she was there the other night, she could not believe the respect and camaraderie, and how they got along together and everything, the players. And I always try to get that. The biggest thing for a coach to do is try to have kids show respect to everybody, their teammates, try to get along, never leave anybody behind, be together, and the big thing I say is safety. Thank you very much.